Hey guys, what's up? I am Nikhil from dopemotions.com and welcome to this brand new video. In today's video, I am going to show you guys how to create a professional slideshow animation inside of After Effects, and not only create one slideshow but also show you guys how you can create a complete slideshow template of 10 to 15 slides using a same animation style but in a different way. And later on you can upload this template on online marketplaces like Videohive.net. So it's gonna be a very fun tutorial and I hope you stick around throughout the tutorial. So without any further ado, let's get started. Alright, so here we are in After Effects. Let's start by creating a new composition. I'll keep it 1920 into 1080, 30 FPS, and let's make this 10 seconds long. Call this main comp. Hit OK. Let's create one more composition, which is going to be our media placeholder. So let's call this media underscore 01. Hit OK and drag and drop in any image that you want to use. In this case, I'm using this image that I got from Unsplash, to which I'll provide the link in the description. And by the way, you can download the complete resource file from the link in the description box below. Alright, that is looking good. Let's go into the main comp and drag in our media placeholder into that. Hit Ctrl Shift C to pre-compose it. I'll move all attributes and call this M. For media pre-comp, I like to rename things to M, but you can of course rename it to anything that you like. After that, let's select the ellipse tool. I'll keep it white. Doesn't really matter which color it is, but double click to create an ellipse. Go into the ellipse 1 properties, path 1. Hold Alt and click on this link button 2 times so we get a perfect circle. I'll make this nice and small, maybe around 800 pixels. That looks good. And then change the track matte of our image to alpha matte. Now, if you don't see this track matte option, you can hit F4 on the keyboard and that should make it visible. But right now you can see our image doesn't fit the complete circle. Let's actually call this circle underscore matte. So I'll go into a media placeholder and scale this image a bit. Actually, I'll go into the media and then scale this up. And yeah, that is looking pretty good. So let's go back into our M composition and add some scaling animation to our media. So let's create a keyframe here. And I'll give it a little bit of scaling by 115. So we have a simple scale animation throughout our comp. That is looking good. I'll pretty quickly add some sharpen to this. And by the way, I'm using the Effects Console script, which is a free After Effects script from Video Copilot. If you don't have the script, you can go into Effects and Preset and just type in Sharper or any effect that I will be using throughout the tutorial. But using Effects Console is going to save you a lot of time. All you need to do is install it. It is absolutely free. Hit Control Space on your keyboard and the script will pop up and you can then type in any effect that you want and just hit enter to apply it. Or you can just simply use Effects and Preset to type in the effect and drag in and drop it onto your layer or just double click on it. So for the sharpen, I'll go with 20. That is pretty much enough. Let's select the layers and hit Ctrl Shift C again to pre-compose it. I'll call this M underscore pre-comp. Let's place it maybe right over here. Hit Ctrl Y to create a new solid. Make this white. Hit OK. Call this maybe BG. Put this at the back. And let's type in our text. So I'll select the text tool. And I'm going to type in new fashion. You can of course type in anything that you want. And for the font, I'll go with a chunk 5. Really nice and cool font. Looks pretty great. And for the color, I'll go with the same as our image. Something like a nice yellow. So now we have our text. Let's go ahead and animate this. Let's go into the text properties and add a position. Then I'll select the animator one, go into add property and add an opacity. Set the opacity to 0, and for the position I'll go with -100. Go into the range selector. Let's create a keyframe on the offset by setting this to 100. Go to 1 second and 10 frames and set this to -100. Oh, I forgot to keyframe this. So I'll create a keyframe and set this to 100. Go add 1 second and 10 frames and set this to -100. Oh, set the offset to -100. Then go into the advanced properties. Change the shape from square to ramp up and increase the ease high to 100 and set the mode to subtract. So now we have something like this, a nice and simple text animation. So I'll select the layer, hit Ctrl D to duplicate it, bring this below our new text, and let's rename this to fashion. Maybe I'll bring down the size a bit. Okay, so now we have this really nice and simple text animation. Let's go ahead and actually add a new camera, because our complete slideshow has a nice 3D animation with a little bit of parallax. So for that we need to add a new camera. Make this 50 millimeters, should be good. Hit OK. Create a new null object. I'll call this cam control. Also, I'll align it into the center, make it 3D and parent the camera to our cam control null layer. Let's create a new null object again and call this zoom and parent the cam control layer to the zoom layer. Now let's turn all the layers into 3D. Select the cam control, hit P to bring down the position, create a keyframe, go back. Let's actually drag this keyframe to 2 seconds. Go at the very beginning and let's drag this layer out. Just like so maybe. I'll make it 1800. Also, we don't want our background to be 3D, so I'll just turn that off, and now we have a very simple animation. But it's not done yet. We need to add some really nice parallax between the elements that we have in the scene. So to do that, I'll select the text layers, hit P to bring down the position properties, and in the Z direction or the Z dimension, I need to set the position of the Z dimension to -2000 for both of this text. And now I need to select them, zoom out, and let's put it into perspective. Also, we can scale them down, but rather I'll just bring down the size just like so. I'll bring the text right over here, just eyeballing the position. Okay, and now you should see we have a little bit of parallax between our text. Let's actually select the keyframes, hit F9 to ease the keyframes, go into the graph editor and right click and select edit speed graph. Select this point and drag the handle to the left just like so. So now we have a pretty nice and simple animation, as you can see. Let's add a zooming animation as well. So let's select the zoom layer, hit make it 3D, zoom in a little. So now we have a little bit of zoom animation as well, as you can see. Now, when you guys are creating this kind of cool artworks, it becomes very essential to showcase them online so everyone can see them and you can reach out to more and more people. Social media websites are one of the most popular ways to reach out a bigger audience, but the more important thing here is to have your own domain and website. So you can not only just share your artwork, but also represent your brand, which gives your work a brand value. Now, this is when Hostinger comes into place. Hostinger offers web, cloud, and VPS hosting services at a very affordable price. At present, they have 3 shared hosting plans: single, premium, and business. Premium shared hosting is by far the most popular plan. It offers the best of all world mix like unlimited SSD space, unlimited bandwidth, unlimited websites, unlimited email accounts, easy to use website builder, free domain registration with annual subscription, and more than that, it is perfect for medium-sized websites. You can build your complete website using the custom website builder, or you can choose from their existing templates. You don't need to have a coding knowledge. It is as simple as drag and drop. For more information, check out the link in the description below. So getting back to the video, now let's go ahead and add some elements. Before that, actually, let's move the position of the text a bit forward in time like this, so we can see the animation of our text. As you can see, maybe a bit more, like at 1 second. Yep, that is actually looking much better. Okay, so to create a nice circle that has that nice reflection kind of thing, so I'll create a new composition called this texture. Hit OK, hit Ctrl Y to create a new solid, call this T for texture, and add a 4-color gradient on this. Now for the gradient, I'm using a color code that I have so that we can get the same colors as our example. And then just pick the same colors. And that is all we need to do here. Maybe we can add some jitter so we don't get any kind of color bendings, and yep, everything else looks good to me. So I'll go into the main comp, drag in the texture. So I'll select the texture and add a CC sphere effect. There we go, but it's not looking that great yet. So we need to play around a bit with the lighting and the shading properties. So I'll change the light intensity to 40 and change the direction to -65. Also, I can play around with the light height. So I'll set this to 25 and everything else looks good. Let's increase the ambient to 80. And now you can see we have started to get this really nice 3D sphere, not 3D actually, 2D sphere. So I'll set this to 60. Bring down the specularity to 0. For the roughness, I'll make it maybe very like 0.1. For the metal, we don't want any metal, so set this to 0. And yes, everything else looks pretty great. You can play around with the ambient look and get the desired circular effect that you want, but I think this is looking pretty great. Maybe bring this down to 75. That is way too low, so I think 80 was perfect. Yep. Now I can turn them into 3D layers, hit P to bring down the position and set this to -1500. And scale them down just like so, and then I can position them wherever I want. So now you can see we get this really nice parallax into our elements. Also, I think I'll select the pre-comp, hit P and bring the image a bit closer to the camera. So I'll set this to maybe -500 and scale this down. Maybe 85. Yep, that looks much better. I'll place the texture into the positions that I want. I'll scale this down to 20. Hit Ctrl D, create a duplicate and place one texture right over here. Maybe increase the size to 40. That is way too much, something like that. I'll place it right over here. I'm not really happy with the ambient look, so I'll go with maybe 85. I want to keep it nice and bright colors, so 85 looks good. Same with this one, I'll set this to 85. All right. Select this one, I'll place it right over here. Scale that down. Hit Control D, place one right over here, I think, and scale this up and create some random, elements just to add some more detail to the scene. Hit Control D, place one right here, scale that really nice and small, and now you can see we get this really cool look. So that is looking pretty cool. Let's select the text that is a new fashion text. Hit Control D to duplicate this, bring this below, or we can just add fashion. We don't need the new text. Okay, and increase the scale, not the scale, actually the size of the text really high and big like that. Maybe that is a bit too much. Something like that should work. Change the color to white as our background. Put this below and add a drop shadow to this. Set the distance to 0, increase the softness, and select the color as a circle like that. Bring down the intensity a bit, increase the spread. So this is going to help us to add some nice element in the background. Hit P to bring down the position and push this back in the Z space. Actually, I should have done this step beforehand, and then I need to increase the size of the text. So we have some nice elements into the background. So our background is not, lame and white color. We have some nice stuff happening in the background. Tweak the softness a bit depending on the look you want to go for. So I'll select the layer, hit Control D to add a duplicate, put this below, something like that, and now we have some elements into our background. Let's actually drag them a bit forward in time. So let's preview our scene till now, and as you can see, this is looking very nice. Yep, that is looking great. Now let's go ahead and add some nice small elements to this. So I'll select the text tool, and firstly I'll lock this layer so I don't get messed up. Set the size very nice and small, and add some small text as details. So I'll add maybe like July 2019. Now you don't see the text because we need to set it in 3D. Also give it a nice black color or darker gray color. Hit P to bring down the position. Pull this forward in Z space like that. And then zoom out, place it into the position that we want. And I'll change the font to Nexa black maybe, and make this very nice and small. Place it right over here, hit Control D to duplicate it, pull this below. And I'll go with the Nexa bold. Type in collection. So let's see our scene, and yeah, that is looking actually very nice. Now if you want, you can take some different shape instead of circular. So if I go into my media comp, and I only need to change is the shape of the track mat. So I'll go back into my M3 comp. So right now we have a circle. If I want, I can maybe select a polygon, create a polygon like that. Change this to a triangle by setting this to 3, add some roundness, give some nice shape like that. Align it into the center using the align tab like that. put this right over here and hide that. And now you have a different shape. So that is the way you can add some different kind of shape. You can use a square or any shape that you want basically. But for now, I'm going to go with circular shape, that is an ellipse. Now to create the animation that I have on the style and trend text, I already have a tutorial on it, so I'll mention the link in the description if you want to create the same exact animation. If not, you can add your own animation as well. But for now, I'm just going to leave it just like that because we have, we need to save some time here because the tutorial is getting very long and still we have to create more slides of this particular slide. So let's say this is our slide animation. We can go ahead and add some nice detail of text. So I'm going to do that really quick. So what I can do is I can select the style and trend text, hit Ctrl D and rotate it by, let's go with actually -90. Scale this down. And put this right over here, which is going to serve as an element into our slideshow. So I'll rename this to something like maybe minimal. That looks great. Select the pen tool. We can add some nice strokes to this. So I'll set this to 1 pixels, go with a nice gray color and create a stroke just like so. Also make it 3D and hit P to bring down the position. Set this to -1500. Let's place it into the position. That is looking good. Actually, I'm gonna add some tracking between the elements a bit. Bring down the size to 7. Select the shape layer, hit Ctrl D and let's pull this out just like so. And now let's see our animation. As you can see, now we get this really nice parallax between all the elements into our scene. Now here we have our first slide ready. Now let's say I want to create a complete slideshow of this kind of animation and upload it on Videohive. So how can you create that? Well, it is very simple. You can select all the layers, hit Ctrl Shift C to pre-compose them, call this scene_01 and hit OK. Then I'll go back into the scene 1 and copy the zoom, camera, control and the camera, hit Ctrl C to copy them, also bring them on the top. Go into the main comp, hit Ctrl V to paste them and then turn on the collapse transformation of the scene 1. Also you can hide the camera under the scene 1 and now we have the same kind of animation. Now for now I'll just duplicate this. Let's call this scene 2. This is not actually the scene 2, but just for reference I'm going to use it as scene 2 and let's assume this is our scene 2. So right over here at 3 seconds I want our scene 2 to animate in. So what I can do is I can go into cam control, hit U so you can see the position, create a keyframe, go to 5 seconds and drag this, let's say up just like so. And then let's bring up our scene 2 right over here. And we don't want any camera control, that is fine. So here we have our scene 2. Let's drag this below just like so. And now we have our scene 2. So you can adjust this because we have the collapse transformation on. You can select this and adjust the position just like that. So now it's going to switch from scene 1 to scene 2. Now one thing that you need to do is you can delete the background from the scene 1 and actually create the background outside the scene. So you can make this PG, hit OK, and put this at the back. So now we have our second scene animating in, and of course you can change the complete text animation from down to bottom. You can add some more elements to the scene, but using this technique you can create a complete slideshow for Videohive. So I hope you enjoyed this tutorial, and if you did, so I hope you enjoyed this in-depth slideshow animation tutorial, and if you did, then make sure to subscribe, comment and like this video and share it with your friends, and I will see you guys in the next video. Till then, take care. Thank you so much for watching, and don't forget to stay raw, stay creative.